Luke,
Hey, what's going on?
how you doing, man?
I'm here.
Just you're here?
It was a wild ride of emotions, but I figured it out, and I'm just here.
You're just here?
Yeah, it's all right.
All right.
Things are going okay.
Hey, man.
Hey.
You know how last time, but might actually be next time, depending on when I post them?
Yes.
We had a friend of ours on this.
We did have a friend of ours, a very special friend of ours.
Yes. Who was that?
Most people know him as Frank Speece. We know him as Frank Speece. We know him as a special Frank Speece, but we won't get into that. And
I hate you.
he's back. That's Frank Speece. That's his voice. And
Frank's
now,
here, everyone. Frank, say hey.
Hello.
Now, if Frank, I've heard you're great at impressions. If you could do an impression of Zach's girlfriend Catherine, that would be great. Catherine, how are you? Catherine's in the building too.
Hi.
Wow, Frank, that's incredible.
Wow,
Oh my
man.
God. Hi, I'm Catherine.
Wow.
Frank. Oh my
Nailed
God.
it.
You guys are so good at this. You guys, Frank.
No, so, all joking aside, Catherine is actually here. Catherine, say hi for real this time.
Hi, for real this time.
It was
Perfect.
Good,
Good one.
yeah, we're having fun.
What a classic. So,
All right.
it's the four of us here sitting in this tiny ass room.
Little tiny room.
This tiny.
It's really tall, though.
It's really tall.
It's much
It's
taller
like
than it needs to be.
This is like a trapezoid.
This is
like
oh shit, yeah.
It's not a perfect rectangle. It's
Yeah,
not a
no.
triangle.
It's not a trapezoid by
it's
any
a
means.
fucking disgrace, if you ask me.
That's, you know, if it were a rhombus, it'd be a different story, but it's not.
I could fuck the shit
Rhombus.
over Rhombus. Yep.
Anyway, so the four of us have seen the movie
new hit film, Logan.
Logan.
We saw it Saturday.
Also Friday.
Well, I saw it on Friday with Frank, and then I
Yes.
saw it again on Saturday with you two.
That's right.
And both times it was great.
Yes.
Just as good, just as much fun to watch.
So,
But-
Frank.
Hmm.
No, you go first.
All right, I think before we get into Logan, we should get into some stuff that's going on, some news, things that we may have found or seen,
Okay.
and then get into Logan later on. Because I have some things now. Now I'm taking notes. I got some
Dude,
news.
you've
I
got
got
some-
stuff going on,
You got some real shit in there.
and I'll segue in by saying, yeah,
Perfect.
X-23 was great in that movie. By the way, I heard that they are thinking James Mangold.
Jim, James, Jim, John, Jimmy.
Yes, James Mangold has been. What's the word I'm thinking of? He was like, "Hey, you know, it'd be cool an X-23 spin-off movie," and he's talked to Daphne Keane about it,
Which is the girl.
the girl, and she's like, "Yeah, that would be so much fun,"
Yeah.
which I think would be pretty cool.
But she probably said in Spanish.
She probably did say it in Spanish. I feel like that's probably her. You know,
She's the little girl.
she's the little girl.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's pretty exciting.
That'd be awesome.
Got some of that.
Yeah.
Also,
really cool.
I don't know if you've heard about this, but they're they are in fact doing a Spawn reboot.
Oh
Didn't
god.
have any idea.
Yeah.
I don't know a lot about Spawn.
Me neither. I know that he's really cool looking, and he's like a demon from hell. It's like a guy who did some stuff. I don't know. Then he's a
Was he
demon
part
from
of
hell, and he
the-
fights demons.
Dare I say, Defenders of the Earth?
I don't know.
I almost feel like he was.
I honestly have no idea.
I
He's
think
he's
yeah.
Image Comics, so it's something from there. He's not Marvel or DC.
Yeah, I know
Well,
that.
it's neither.
Who's making it?
I'll tell you who.
Okay.
Now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Todd McFarlane, the guy who invented Spawn.
Oh,
After seeing the first one, he's like, "That was bad,
gotcha.
and I want to do this the right way."
Cool.
And he said, I'm quoting him here, I wrote down the
Yeah,
quotes.
I saw it earlier.
Yeah, he said, here's PG-13. Now, for the people listening, I'm doing some hand things. My hands are going to get taller and taller as this goes on. He said, if here's PG-13, and here's Deadpool, and here's Logan, we're going to be here.
Ooh.
It's going to be dark. It's going to be nasty.
Yes.
And it's supposed to be, he also said it has dark R potential,
Hey,
and that it's going to be a horror superhero film.
it's like a dark red,
What is dark
Yes.
R?
like a maroon.
Like, yeah,
Oh, like my shoes.
like your shoes.
Oh,
Yeah, if you were to,
okay.
I wouldn't
This
show your
movie
shoes to
is-
children.
Rated Frank shoes.
Yes.
Frank, what do you think
God.
about that, my friend? I want you to feel included.
I
Yeah.
like my shoes, so I'd probably like the dark R.
I think you would.
Because I sure
to
like
give-
me some Logan.
To give a little bit of context to your hands,
Yes.
it went like, let's say it's like a foot off the ground. Then
Right.
Deadpool was a foot and a half off the ground. Then Logan was 2 feet off the ground.
Right.
then Spawn will be 3 feet off the
Yeah,
ground.
3.5, something like that.
There you go.
So dark,
Math.
like people don't bring your kids to Logan. Really, don't bring your kids to Spawn because
Or bring them, because I don't give a shit.
bring them because
Frank has put his foot down. His nice
Frank has a
dark
unique
red
parenting style.
hard R foot down.
You bring your kids wherever you damn well please.
That's right, Frank.
Frank, you'll be a fun dad.
Which
I will be.
leads me into my next little bit of news. I don't know if we've talked about this, but have we talked about the Valiant cinematic universe at all, or any Valiant comics?
No.
Really?
Not
Well,
really.
I don't know that much about them.
Right.
I have like 2 or 3 Valiant comics. They're okay, but they're starting their own cinematic universe, starting with 2 movies. One of them's called Harbinger or Harbinger.
Right.
I don't know which one it is.
Right.
Catherine had a tough time reading it.
That's
Mhm.
true.
She had
well,
it, but-
she called it Harbingo.
Harbingo.
It looks like
That's-
the gummy bears.
That's
or
if he was a dog.
Anyway.
So Harbinger, whoever he is, he's a teenage runaway named Peter Stanchek with massive telekinetic powers. So that's pretty neat. That's going to be the first movie in the new Valiant cinematic universe.
Gotcha.
The writer is named Eric Heiserer.
Heiser. Great.
He's done the movie Arrival
Okay.
and Lights Out. I didn't see either of those, but I know what Arrival is. I don't know
I don't know what Lights Out is either.
Um,
But Arrival, apparently fantastic.
yeah,
That's
so
what I've
that's
heard
pretty
from
cool.
everybody,
And it said
especially
that
Frank.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I'm
character-
shaking my head.
Frank's shaking his head.
Mm-hmm.
It said that the character
Like a
Bloodshot.
Muppet.
I am like
Continue.
The character Bloodshot is said to be the villain in this movie.
And
And Bloodshot is going to be getting his own spin-off movie, which will then be the next movie in the franchise.
hey,
and
it's like
that
a-
is
like a-
which means he's not going to die, everyone.
that's true.
Just to let you know.
Yep,
Spoiler alert.
unless it's a prequel,
Unless it's a prequel,
it's
you
not
never
gonna be.
know.
It's
a
not gonna
prequel
be.
sequel
Yep,
Uh-uh.
it could
in
be.
between.
But the guy who's directing it is a fairly new coming director named Dave Wilson.
Okay.
But he was the visual effect visionary for Age of Ultron and Deadpool, and he's done trailers for games like Star Wars: The Old Republic, BioShock Infinite, right? Yeah, BioShock Infinite, and Mass Effect 2.
All very good games, if
Yeah.
anybody's wondering.
Right. So if that has anything to say about it, I mean that's pretty cool.
Yeah. So I got a question for you.
Okay.
Who is making those movies? Not directors,
Right.
But like,
I do not know. I think it's Sony. I
okay,
think I remember seeing Sony, but I'm often wrong.
gotcha.
So
well,
I do not know.
aren't we all?
Yeah.
That's why we're here. We're here
Yeah.
to be wrong and be corrected.
And that's and we're having fun with it. But I like the idea of a new like superhero cinematic universe.
Mm-hmm.
But that made me think: are these ever gonna like get old? Will this like gimmick die out?
There you go, man.
I have here a list of cinematic shared universes throughout the years.
That have either gotten old or died out.
No, just ones that have happened, and I'm pretty sure after a while people are gonna be like, God, how many of these can there be?
Right.
So, for example, the Hanna-Barbera universe
Yes.
with like Space
know.
Ghost and like the Flintstones and the Jetsons
Oh.
and
Those will.
Huckleberry Hound and all those,
Right,
like
are
all
you-
those heroes.
Those ones are all TV.
right? Okay.
Those are not.
Yes.
Which still same thing.
Still
though.
same thing.
Have you ever
but
seen what the hell's that car one that's like the
Cars?
Ooh.
good one? No, it's like it's them. It's all of them,
Yeah.
and they all are like competing
Speed
against.
Racer?
Nope.
No, I don't
No,
know.
it's not. It's not actually
Oh.
cars.
I honestly
said
don't
cars, but
know.
I didn't mean it. It's Olympics. It's like
Oh,
all the
okay.
Hanna-Barbera
Oh, really?
cartoons in Olympics.
Yeah.
I don't remember what it's called. It's a whole TV show.
Oh,
It was a
cool.
whole big series. Like they had the whole bunch, like a
Cool.
whole bunch of episodes, and
So-
it was all of them meeting up together, and they all competed against each other.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was pretty sweet.
Yeah, I have some other examples here,
Go ahead.
like Spy Kids and Machete. As we all know, Danny Trejo is in like the Spy Kids movies as
Right.
their uncle,
That's the wrong.
and it's the same character from Machete,
Right.
which is like a hard R film.
Of Frank's bottom of Frank's
Ooh.
shoe.
Yeah.
Not even just Frank's shoe. The very bottom.
The
of
very
it, my
bottom,
friend.
like the really dirty part, like where like in the arch where all that sweat is. You know what I'm talking about.
Ew. Gross.
Also,
My
another
Frank, you and your stanky ass shoes.
Yeah, another TV universe, the Butch Hartman verse. I saw there was this little clip released like a week or two ago, and it was Danny Phantom and his friends like capturing all these ghosts.
Right.
And then out of the portal in Danny's basement
Mm-hmm.
was like I don't know what's the name of his other show where it's like a dog that's also a spy.
Spy Dogs.
That's dumb, Frank. You're dumb.
Oh.
Whatever.
I
His
don't remember,
name
but I
is,
know what you're talking about.
You know what I'm talking about. And then
Yeah.
after that, it was like the Fairly Odd Parents came out with Timmy.
Okay.
And then there was some other character that came out, like a newer one. One of those. It's a dumb show, and it's very much so for a younger audience, but it's still a Butch Hartman show.
Butch Hartman.
And so that's pretty neat. Like a little team
Yeah,
up,
that's
and they're
pretty
all
cool.
trying to fight each other. Then there's obviously like the DC universe, the Marvel universe, this new Valiant universe.
Tough. His
Tough.
name is Tough.
Tough.
Tuff.
That's it.
It's yeah.
Whatever it is.
That's it.
He's in there.
That's
And
what I
then
got for you.
I was thinking the Looney Tunes verse.
Yeah.
That should be. That's pretty good.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
And my favorite one is the That's So Sweet Life on Deck. That's a good shared
Or,
universe. All the Disney Channel shows.
The That's So Sweet Life of Hannah Montana.
That's it. I was trying to think of that one too. I was like, how did they shoehorn Hannah Montana into this too? I couldn't think of it. But that's it.
And Hannah Montana shows up at the Tipton Hotel in Boston.
Right. Yeah, so that's a pretty
And
good shared universe.
That's pretty
Did you
good.
bring up?
That's a
you
fun
said
one.
Machete, but did you bring up that that's connected to Spy Kids?
Yes.
Okay.
In fact, that's exactly what I
I'm
said.
an idiot. I was not paying attention.
Frank,
Sorry,
remember what we
everyone.
just said like 10 minutes ago?
I know.
You're a
That was
dummy.
like the
Machete,
only
I just-
detail they gave. They were like
Yeah.
Spy Kids, and then the
Machete.
bottom of Frank's shoe.
Yeah, I just remember that
The
part.
sweaty part.
Not the Spy Kids part, but just let everybody know Spy Kids and Machete.
They're all.
Thanks,
I'm the
Frank.
one who
It's
said
the
it
same.
first, not Luke.
Heard it here first,
Yep.
folks.
From me, not Luke.
If you're gonna get it tattooed, make sure to credit Frank's piece.
Something I wanted to actually bring up that kind of goes with your universe. So we talked about this yesterday when we went to go see the Lego Batman movie again.
Right.
I saw it for like what's probably the fourth time now. Like I feel
Good.
like it's almost like too many. I'm gonna see it again
That's
tomorrow.
not true.
it's at the point where I'm like, okay, I can see it again when it comes down on DVD.
I gotcha.
Good. I'm all set.
All right.
But regardless, and I noticed that all of the bad guys, again, we've talked about this already, which won't be out before this one.
No.
But regardless, this was going to be a bit of a spoiler for this movie. I'm going to say this.
A little bit.
So I'll put like a time code or something.
Sure.
So the all the villains that are in it and that are featured are all villains that are owned by Warner Brothers.
Oh, right.
So
Right.
Oh, that's
So, like, all
it's
of, like-
ruined for me.
Frank,
I haven't seen it.
you son of a bitch.
You ruined it for me. I'm just kidding. Continue.
Okay, so Frank, you know what? Perfect. Frank, I'll tell you.
All right,
So
cool.
in the movie, the
Mhm.
Joker
All right.
needs to be sent up to the Phantom Zone,
Okay.
which is I know I added an H. I
Yeah.
don't care. Let's just move on.
Danny
Alright.
Phantom.
The Phantom Zone. I didn't mean to.
Yeah, no, it's fine. Continue.
Anyway, so he wants to be sent up there, and when he gets sent up there from Batman being an idiot, there's all of, like the world's worst bad guys. So there's like up there, there's like Voldemort. He's up there. There's
Hitler.
Sauron. No,
Jaws.
stop. There's Jaws. There's,
All the
there's
gremlins.
The gremlins
Yeah,
from
I forgot about that.
Gremlins.
The Wicked Witch of the West and all the
Oh.
monkeys.
Oh,
Yes.
monkeys.
There's
With monkeys, Frank's in.
there's the T-Rex and the Raptors from Jurassic Park. There's
All right.
there's
Really
one more.
villains, but
Godzilla
alright.
and King Kong.
It wasn't Godzilla. It was
It
like
wasn't
this big.
Godzilla.
It was like this big sea monster thing. One of
what
those
the
big.
hell
Cthulhu.
No, it was like
Oh.
a
Was
big.
it
And the
Godzilla?
Daleks.
No.
And the Daleks from
Oh.
Doctor Who.
It was a big
Alright.
like MGM old
Yeah.
school monster.
Something like that.
Oh.
Yeah.
But regardless, every single one of those is owned by Warner Brothers.
Okay.
So or at least they have the distributing rights of it,
I never made that connection.
because the Daleks are actually owned by BBC, but in America,
Yeah.
Warner Brothers has the distributing rights of Doctor Who.
Right.
So
Oh.
it's not that, because originally when Luke and I saw it, we were like, oh, that's cool. It's all the guys that Lego owns, but it's not. It's all the guys that
Right.
Warner Brothers
So
owns.
hopefully the Animaniacs will get their own Lego movie.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
God.
Or they'll be featured in the next one.
Either way, I'll
Shouldn't
take
they
them.
feel it?
Yakko,
Yeah.
Wacko, and Dot, get them in there. They're the best.
They're already planning on another one?
Probably.
Yeah,
Get
man.
Pinky and the Brain in there too.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Yeah, they're great.
Or all
Lego,
of
Pinky and the Brain.
That'd be fun.
all the Cartoon Network ones are every single Cartoon
Oh,
Network thing
yeah.
is Warner Brothers.
That's right.
So they should all be in there.
Lego
That's
Ed,
what
Ed,
I'm
and
talking
Eddie.
about. But what I was thinking of is how come all of these, like, Lego's arguably their biggest franchise is Star Wars.
Yep.
So I was thinking, why is Darth Vader not there?
Yeah.
Because that would make sense.
hmm
But it's
'Cause
because
he's owned
Warner
by-
Brothers doesn't own them.
Right. Disney has them.
Got me, Frank? See how that makes sense? Because I was like thinking, I'm like, this doesn't
Yeah.
make any sense. Why
Right.
would he not be in there? And then I was
Yeah.
looking at a list of them all, and I'm like, Every single one of those is owned by Warner Brothers.
But
That
then
makes
why
sense.
would the Millennium Falcon and 3PO and R2 and Chewie?
I mean,
and
I'm
Lando?
assuming they got some sort of deal with them then.
I
And that
guess,
was in
yeah.
the last movie.
Yeah. Who knows? Things have
Was that
changed.
before that?
Right.
Before Disney really owned it?
No.
No?
Nope.
Alright. I was just spitballing.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's a ting.
Yep.
That's a good thought.
Speaking of Disney-owned things, we are segueing like no tomorrow.
I can't
So
help it.
Frank and I have started our own passion project.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
It's our Fantastic Four screenplay,
Yes.
the not shitty Fantastic Four,
Yep.
and we're basing it in the MCU.
Okay.
And so I was thinking today, how would the Fantastic Four fit into the MCU,
Right.
and what could be different? What would be cool with them, and like who would they work well with, and like the partnerships and everything? How would that go?
I just want to say this is a very loose segue,
Yes.
but I'll take it nonetheless.
Yeah.
Like the Disney-owned property, sure, but it's like I thought you were gonna go with like something far more Disney than
Nah.
all the way down to Marvel. That's fine.
Either
Continue.
way.
Sorry.
So,
Didn't mean to
what-
cut you off.
What would you like to see? So, if the Fantastic Four
Right.
made their way into the MCU, what things
Yes.
would you like to see?
I want to see.
A good movie.
Yeah.
Other
Actual
than
good
just a-
movie.
right.
I want to see a movie that's not bad.
Obviously,
Right. Catherine, were you gonna say something?
I don't know what MCU is.
Marvel
Oh.
Cinematic Universe.
Thank you.
Yeah. You know what? Catherine is our part of our
Layman.
audience that doesn't quite know
Our
what we're
lame
talking
woman. How dare
Our
you?
lame woman. I'm sorry, Catherine.
This guy is so sexist.
about. Look, that's your
Frank
unconscious
always standing
bias.
up for
You're
me.
right.
Yep.
Let's
Anyway.
move on.
Yeah.
So
Anyway.
if the Fantastic Four were in the
In the-
Marvel
In
universe,
the like
who would
the
they
with the
chill
Avengers.
Yeah, like what would be cool to see?
Right.
And
So Fantastic Four has the Rock guy, yeah.
yes,
He would be cool with the Hulk. They'd be cool friends.
that's very true. It'd be cool to see them fight and then
Yes.
punch for a bit and then
Punch
be
for a bit
friends.
and then they'd be mates.
Stretchy
Yeah.
girl.
Stretchy Girl, that's her birth name.
That's not anybody.
Yeah.
Oh.
The stretchy man.
Stretch Man.
I'll let you guys talk.
So
It's no, you're fine.
I'm thinking
Who would-
Elastigirl.
That's-
Which is from The Incredibles, also Disney.
Yep,
I
keeping
appreciate
it
it.
keeping it in the
Perfect.
balance.
All
We're
right,
good.
go ahead, take it away, gang.
Take it away, Ernie.
I think that Reed Richards
Yep.
would get along with probably Stark and
See-
Doctor Strange.
If Frank and I were thinking Doctor Strange would be good.
Yeah.
Or Ant-Man Senior, obviously, not Junior.
Right, yeah. I get
Right,
that.
yeah. Get some Hank Pym in there with
Right.
some
Okay.
Reed Richards.
Yeah.
Some
Oh, the
Real
reason that I
pretentious
say
assholes together.
him is because they were both part of the Illuminati
Right,
group
yeah.
in the comics,
hmm
which is what I was.
It'd be a
the
cool
three
thing.
of them were.
Yeah,
actually,
and it'd
all
be a
three
cool
of them.
thing for them to show in the movies, like the beginnings of the Illuminati,
That'd be
like
really sweet.
real low key,
Right.
keep it on the DL, you know, like
Yeah.
the kids say, have them dab like the kids do.
Stop that.
Okay, my
Good one, Frank.
my big thought.
Frank just dabbed everyone.
That's stop. So Frank and I, for our screenplay, we thought what would be a good like earthly invasion. Because again,
I already got you.
for a superhero movie, you need
You said
hundreds.
invasion.
Yeah, you need hundreds of generic aliens to kill
Yep, of
off
course,
to fight
that's how
for
it
the whole
works.
team to fight them,
Or robots.
or robots. So either way, the Skrulls would be perfect,
Skrulls.
and the Skrulls would be
Dude.
so much fun to
Oh my
watch.
god.
It would be
It's
awesome.
so baller.
yeah.
It's such a cool like story.
Yeah.
The entire thing is so sweet.
Mhm.
I remember I had a game. What the hell was it? It was for the Wii U.
Yeah.
It was a game that you played as like you could only play as like 7 big Avengers.
Yeah.
Had like all of, like basically just the main ones,
Mhm.
and you were battling themselves as Skrulls.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah.
And that game was fun.
You and I never played it. I always wanted to, but we never played it for some
Well,
reason.
why don't you just ask
I
the
did?
next time you come over?
All right.
We will play it.
Okay.
I'm not gonna.
I didn't think so.
No, I will. If you ask me to,
All right.
if you build it, they will come.
Good. I'm
Well,
glad.
Okay. Catherine, what
Yes.
do you think about the Skrulls?
I don't know what a scroll
they
is. I'm
are-
imagining a rolled up piece of paper.
Almost.
You're close.
It's
Luke, would you like
Skrull.
to-
Skrull.
Great.
Luke,
And-
explain what they are.
So they're
No, I was
He
just.
probably
I
was
think
about to.
yeah. They are a green race of aliens,
Okay.
Yes.
and they have bumpy chins.
hmm
Like you know how like in the movie Thanos has like a bumpy chin.
Is he the purple guy?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
It's like that, but it's green.
Okay.
And they have the power to shapeshift into anybody.
Are they Marvel guys?
Yes.
Yeah.
And so
Have they been in a movie?
No, because
That's why
they're
it'd be perfect for our
technically
movie.
they came with the Fantastic Four package,
Yeah.
which went to
Ah.
20th Century Fox.
So
I
if
see.
I wanted to frame you for something, I could just go and then just change into you, go rob a bank, and then change back into me,
Right,
and then you'd get in trouble because you're you and I'm me.
right. No, you're me. Because you'd be me. I'd be me, but you'd also be me.
Yes.
And you'd rob a bank as me, but you're you.
Yes. And then you get in trouble because you're you.
Because I'm me.
And they think it's you.
And you're you.
Yes.
Great. I'm with you.
Awesome.
So what am I thinking about the bumpy-chinned aliens?
Do you think they'd be cool to watch in a movie? Just a whole army of them fighting
Yeah,
against...
dude, they could really do a bunch of bad stuff because they could transform themselves into all the Avenger guys and do a bunch of tricky stuff. And then the important government people will be like, the Avengers, you can't help us anymore. And then they'll get in trouble and go to Avengers jail. And then the aliens...
Which they did introduce Avengers Jail.
That's true.
In Civil War.
And that's
so,
the story.
Yeah, that's it.
So
Well,
I have the sequel to...
Yes.
Yeah.
I
Well,
have it all planned out.
There is
Perfect.
a comic storyline that happened in like 2005 or whatever called The Secret Invasion. And they basically, the Skrulls came down and it turned out that for like dozens of years they've been hiding out and pretending to be the Avengers and pretending to be like the superheroes doing things.
What if one of the Avengers was really an alien like the whole time? That would be twist of the century.
That would
Twist
be
of the
crazy.
century is that if it was Bucky.
Ooh.
Nope,
No.
Bucky actually did it this time.
Yeah, Frank,
Um,
you can't take out the goddamn wire yet.
Sorry, I just
Son
want
of a
my
bitch.
feet up. My feet want to be up.
Dude, put them over here.
it's too bad.
There's a thing over here.
The dog's
This side.
gotta roam.
Oh, good idea.
Is there a bench right there?
No,
No.
I'm sitting on it. I need it.
I
Yeah.
was trying to put my feet on Zach's
So-
lap. Everyone heard it here first.
Frank, we had... This is total spoilers for our movie. And if anyone's... Frank,
Frank,
I want to tell you guys...
tell me what you think
But
Tetris is going to be about.
I don't want anyone who's listening to hear this. So just... Zach's going to time code it.
Okay.
And just skip to the next part. Unless you don't want me to go ahead and tell people.
I honestly don't care.
So,
I want to know.
okay.
I want to know.
So we already have a cool end credit scene planned out. We already
Okay.
have a pretty solid plot line going.
All right.
So the ending, well, the movie begins
Yes.
with the Fantastic Four has already been together for a few years.
Okay.
It'll be kind of like the beginning of Age of Ultron, where they're fighting all those guys in the woods.
Okay.
Except it'll be the
Underground.
Fantastic Four underground, essentially fighting like the Mole Man and all of his people, and then doing whatever they do to defeat the Mole Man. I don't know, shine a flashlight on him, something, catch him in a rat
A
trap.
laser.
Yeah, that's about it. Just get rid of him. They're like, oh, good work, team. And then Skrulls come, do some shit. There's a whole movie about it.
Right.
We don't have to plot that solidified.
Yeah.
But our after credits scene, I think, is pretty solid.
Okay.
So, the scene starts
Yes.
with the Fantastic Four landing on a landing pad at the top of the Baxter building on their
Okay.
little
Yeah,
stupid
yeah.
car thing that
Right,
they
I know
have.
what you're talking about. The
Doesn't
one that
have
looks
to
like a
be car. We
T.
can make it whatever we want.
We can make it whatever we want.
The one that looks like a T?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it should be the Teen Titans, but it's not.
That's not. I know what you mean, though.
Yeah, and then a dark shadow is cast over the entire city.
And?
And we see like a bird's eye shot of the Fantastic Four, and they all look up. And from like the foreground of the shot, you see a silver surfboard and 1 foot. And that's the after credits scene.
That'd be pretty sweet.
That'd be a real good way to introduce him.
Yeah, it would be.
Man. Ooh, the silver surfboard.
Silver Surfer.
You almost had
Oh!
it. So close.
Yep.
And another one that was thrown in the whole Fantastic Four package and sent to 20th Century Fox.
Yeah.
Which is why they're not in the Marvel movies. It's
Right.
because they're not owned by Disney.
Mhm.
They're owned by
And
Fox.
taking this back to the Illuminati,
Take it back to a time.
since we get the entire package, we could get
Yes.
Namor.
Yes.
Throw him into the Illuminati too.
Yep.
Man, we got to get this going.
That'd be really sweet.
Yeah, it would.
I just come on, man. They're trying to make another one.
It's
They're trying to make
It's
another
gonna
one.
be so bad. Just stop. Give it to
give
us.
back.
Frank, we got to get this done. Send it in. Say, whoever's writing it, Josh Trank, get the fuck out. It's our turn.
And then we'll
Poor
become the
Josh
1%.
Trank. It wasn't even his fault.
It wasn't his fault, but for God's sake, stop making
Yes.
such a
So
shit movie.
bad. 9%.
Steve, if you're listening, I'm sorry. I know you like it. It's bad.
It's a bad movie, man.
You have a bad opinion of it. Go away.
I understand it's your opinion, but you're wrong.
Yeah.
Your opinion is incorrect.
And then, we also, we'd have flashbacks in the movie that would flash back to, like, it wouldn't be an origin story.
Okay.
So there'd get little flashbacks to how they did it. And in those flashbacks would be Victor, not as Doom, but as Victor.
Right.
And kind of showing little hints towards him becoming Doom.
Okay.
And being
is he going to be
more aggressive and mean.
Is he going to be a weird robot?
No.
Prism-looking
No.
thing?
Also, he's not going to be like a computer hacker. Like they originally intended for him to be.
That's pretty good, too.
Yeah.
I don't mean that literally.
No, not at all.
All right.
Oh, man. So that's what I've got for all that.
That's it?
That's it.
That's all you got, dude?
Yeah.
Come on, that's it?
I have a couple other things, but they're not related to that. Like Inhuman stuff.
You can't segue it in. I think I can.
Go
Ready?
for it, yeah.
One of the members of the Illuminati is Black Bolt.
Oh, shit. Speaking of Black Bolt, so...
There you go.
For those who don't know, Black Bolt was just... the first image of Black Bolt was shown from the NBC show Inhumans, which, I don't know if you know this, the first 2 episodes are being shot in IMAX.
I did not.
Yeah, and I think they're being shown in theaters.
Oh, cool.
Really?
Yeah.
That's good.
I don't know how it works. Like, if James and Mason were talking about it, and they were like, do you have to go back to the theater for the second episode? Is it just both episodes in one sitting? Do you have to buy 2 tickets? How's that work? But either way, the first 2 episodes are going to be in IMAX.
That's pretty cool.
So, hopefully, it's not garbage.
Right.
Also, let's talk about the suit.
Okay. Before,
yes, can
you explain a little bit of who the Inhumans are to Catherine? She doesn't know.
I cannot, but Frank Spees can.
Frank, hit it.
I can. It's like a secret city flying in the sky, hovering in the sky. I don't really know, and it's disguised, so nobody can like really see it. And they're up there, and their ruler is Black Bolt.
And who are they?
The Inhumans.
They're basically like the royal family of this big city in the sky.
It's literally that Sky High movie of a kid.
Essentially,
yes. Except they never come down on Earth.
And the Inhumans are just all the teachers.
And basically, they're like mutants, but a different one.
Yeah.
They get their powers from these weird like crystals.
Right.
That are inside this floating planet.
And so if you were to get near these crystals, the crystals would pull out whatever power you have and kind of like manifest it.
Kind of like how
so they
Deadpool.
Can't leave because then they don't have their powers.
No, they can.
No, it pulls them out kind of like how Deadpool was like tortured to get us in the movie.
Yeah, like
right. Except it's not torture; it's just these crystals that offer like.
It's like in Chronicle.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, obviously,
Chronicle.
you know.
Yeah.
So Black Bolt has this suit. I'll show you the suit so you understand.
Okay.
He has this nice black suit with a cool mask and these cool little wingies.
So he's a special guy, or he's just one of the guys on the island.
So his power is that his voice basically creates a sonic boom every single time that he makes any noise whatsoever.
So he cannot speak.
So he has trained himself, and he has like gone through a whole bunch of like mental training, I guess, to make it so that he never makes a sound ever, unless he wants to.
Right.
So even like in his sleep, so he just is completely mute.
Yeah. What happens if he does? What if he sneezes?
He just it will literally level cities.
Yeah.
It's
crazy.
Real
powerful.
So he just talks in sign all the time and asks other people to talk for him.
I think there's like some telepathy there too.
I'm sure.
That is the sickest costume ever.
Isn't it pretty sweet?
He looks like a flying squirrel.
Yes.
Yeah, isn't it cool?
He's pretty cool.
It doesn't look anything like that.
No, NBC has released the first...
That's not what it's going to look like.
This is the bad part.
NBC has released the first look of his suit, and it's this awful leather black trench coat, no mask. He looks like he's about 60. Yeah, he looks like he's a 65-year-old chain smoker. Like his face is all sunken in. Sorry, whatever your name. All these people that were just cast for it.
Yeah.
Who are they?
Exactly.
We should have researched it. We should have figured out who these people are so we could talk about it. But
I mean, I think that
that's so lame.
It's so lame. He looks awful. And
is this just like his everyday outfit, or that's like his legit coolest moment costume?
That's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping
not.
This is before he comes in contact with the crystals, and this is like his royal uniform, whatever. And then when he comes in contact with the crystals, it alters his clothing.
Like as kids, that's when they usually like.
Oh, for it?
Teenagers,
Oh,
yeah,
right,
they
right,
usually-
right. So hopefully this is just his everyday outfit, like Catherine said, and he has a
Yeah.
cooler one.
It's his bathrobe.
It's his bathrobe,
It's his
right? But
Either
They-
that, or I mean, worst case scenario, it's just a work in progress.
yeah, hopefully, much like
that they could CGI over too.
speaking of the CGI,
Yeah, hit me with it.
they also released an image of Lockjaw, his
It's-
pet dog.
It's that black
He
woman.
has he has a giant bulldog named Lockjaw.
Is that blue thing?
That's the blue thing.
No,
It's not going to be that blue, Frank. It's not. They're going to CGI to
Okay.
look like an actual dog. He's not going to be like the color
Oh.
of the
Are there
Scooby
people
Doo
in
gummy.
Blue
that
is-
outfit?
look bad.
Blue is
Yeah.
the new green.
Cool.
Yeah,
Ah.
Honestly,
Yeah.
blue screen is the new green screen. That's what
Duh.
they use now.
I didn't know.
You're
It
so
does-
hip.
As I was saying it, I realized how correct I
Blue's the
was
new
in
green.
that he in this image he looks like when you get Scooby Doo gummies and Scooby is like that weird blue. That's what he
Yes.
looks like. Like
Is he the dog on the poster in our bathroom?
Yes, he is.
Yeah.
He's
Yes.
a bulldog.
yes,
Okay.
he looks
All
like
right,
an eraser
I'm with.
Yes.
because those
Yes.
gummies look like erasers. So I'm hoping that Lockjaw isn't super goofy, and I'm hoping that Medusa's hair isn't super goofy.
I hope it is.
Why?
I don't.
No, yeah, no. So Medusa is Black Bolt's wife,
Yes.
who I believe speaks for him.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
Probably most of the time.
And her power is that she has super long hair that she can control. So she could just
That makes
grab you
sense.
and tickle you with her long hair.
That's all she does.
It's real
Just
weird.
tickles.
Yep.
She's like, ooh, I'm gonna get you.
Ooh, gotta get you.
Ha.
That's it. All right.
So that's pretty much all there is to catch up with.
How'd
for
they
like,
meet?
I'm
Her
sure
and
it
the
was
non-speaking man.
I bet it was a dating site.
It was in fact.
He set up
Plenty of fish.
Inhumansmeet.com.
Yeah, he's
Plenty of fish. Christian Mingle. All right, Frank. You have anything else to say about the Inhumans?
Not really.
No. Can
So-
you give us a little bit of history of Lockjaw? Do you know?
The dog that got into the crystals. That's basically it. That's
like he was going through the trash and
they
there was
all
one
have
in
dogs.
there.
That dog won into the crystals. They're like, God damn, fine. You're on the team.
Told you to keep him on a leash.
Yeah.
So do they have to touch the crystals to get their powers?
Nah, they're
They
like
have to lick
down
it.
there, and then it just like oozes. Like it doesn't ooze, but like
Radiation.
yeah, it's like like not a powder. I don't know. It's like a
They just
spray.
do lines.
It's like
Yeah,
anthrax.
they take the crystals, they
Anthrax.
cut it up, they snort it, and then they get their powers. That's it.
Probably not.
Sick.
That's
Nah.
how Underdog got his powers.
Oh,
By
Underdog.
snorting coke.
Well, that's why the show got canceled.
wait,
So
for real?
Underdog, the old cartoon,
Yes.
the way he got his powers is that he had a ring and he would pop a pill and he would take that pill and he would turn into Underdog. And there was one episode, this is what I've been told, this is the legend, this is what my dad told me,
The Legend of Underdog.
where there was an episode where he popped the pill and it got crushed by a rock. So he snorted it. And right there, they're like, this is for kids! We're done!
Yeah, that's so not
Nah, that's
okay.
perfect.
So, I mean, I'll look it up. No, I won't. I don't have Wi-Fi. But that's the story of Underdog. I don't know if it's true.
Have no fear.
Underdog is on drugs.
He is.
Yep.
He is in fact on drugs.
Have no fear. Underdog is here. Let's see here. Hold on.
All right.
We're gonna take a. Want to take a short break? Anybody need to pee? Everybody good?
Gavin?
Anybody
No.
need to pee? Everybody good?
Alright.
Frank, you good?
I'm
You ready to
perfect.
keep rocking?
I can rock and roll.
Rocking. Down on the streets, I'm rolling.
All right. Let's do this thing.
Let's get
Let's-
into the big news.
The
The
big
big
new-
the big two.
Big two. You want to
We'll
start
go-
with the first one
Let's
first?
go chronological order.
Do it.
What's a big two?
The big
Sorry.
two. So we're gonna
You can-
start
You can keep. You can talk.
this one. You'll know things about because you
Yeah,
were there.
you're gonna know both of these.
Yes. So, beginning the Deadpool trailer that was released before Logan.
Yes.
Yep.
Thoughts? Anybody?
It looked great.
It
I like
did
the
look
whole.
great.
I,
I
thought
like-
it,
mean,
I thought it was the beginning of the movie, to be honest.
yeah, it's
I
not.
did too.
It's honest. It's not like a scene from the movie. It's
No.
obviously not going to be in the movie. It's just
No.
a little teaser trailer,
Yes.
just to get people a little amped up.
Yeah.
Let them know that there is in fact going to be a second one, regardless of the fact that they have no script or director or anything like anything at all.
I feel like Ryan Reynolds could just do it all himself.
Yeah,
Like,
he
the
could.
movie would
He
be
could play
so good.
everybody, and it'd be perfect.
Just be his brainchild.
It'd be hilarious too.
Yeah,
and
it'd be really funny.
He'd just make fun of it the whole time.
Yeah,
It'd be super
it's like earlier.
self-aware
I was
that
listening-
he's playing every single character, and
Yes.
it'd be great.
It's like I was listening to the Weekly Planet earlier, and they were
Yes.
talking about how they could get Wolverine in it and just have Ryan Reynolds be in the yellow suit
Yeah.
and just have him like mock Wolverine a little bit, and that's the only way they can do it.
That'd be pretty good.
That'd be real good.
I don't know, I gotta say, other than Apocalypse, which I thought was a disaster, Frank,
What's
relax.
Apocalypse?
It's
Fox has
last X-Men movie.
kind of come back up, I think.
I
It's that
love
5 movie rule.
Apocalypse, so Zach
Exactly,
is wrong.
man.
You hate Finding Nemo because it's about a fish.
Oh, not back on
You
this.
have no.
Catherine, we're
Sorry.
talking
Gotcha,
superheroes
Frank.
here, not fish. There's a difference.
Frank, I even read you a report last time, and you still
True.
said no. And I
He
worked
worked-
hard on that
he
report.
did.
You stole it
He
from the
hates-
internet.
I for sure plagiarized it hard. If
My
anybody knows
favorite-
me, I can't write.
My favorite part was when he is trying to get his suit on in the
It's-
telephone booth and his butt's all on the.
Yeah,
Who
so
doesn't like that?
it's. I mean, it's a pretty short thing. Frank, you want to tell everybody what happened in it?
In what?
Just describe the trailer.
Just
Hit
describe
us with
what
a
happened in it.
synopsis.
He didn't.
So,
Oh yeah.
Ryan Reynolds walking on the sidewalk, and this guy is getting mugged. And he's like, "Oh, time to get into superhero
What
mode."
were the words he said?
I don't remember.
Not on my watch,
Not-
motherfucker.
That's it.
Very Deadpool.
Perfect. And he goes in the phone booth, and it starts changing, and his butt comes out. Ooh.
Ooh.
And then
all
the entire time he's in
yeah.
there, it's playing the Superman theme, like the classic
Yes.
one from the
And
70s.
the guy in the background's like, "Please stop! Somebody help me, God! Call the
Somebody
cops!"
hearing me, please. Taking his sweet time.
So Deadpool eventually gets his suit on. He's like, "I'm ready," and the guy's dead.
He
He's
gets
like,
shot.
Yeah, he got
you hear a
shot.
gunshot,
Yeah.
and then he runs
like,
out.
Shit. And like in retrospect, he's like, there's no reason to put like.
Should have
call
just
the
called the
cops.
cops.
Should have called 911.
I'm being honest with myself.
Oh, yeah.
Oh god.
The whole thing's online. If you haven't seen it, go see it.
Frank,
It's
have you
pretty great.
seen the online version? Because there's a difference between the theatrical version and the one online.
No,
Yeah.
I haven't.
Tell the differences.
On the online version, he spends a couple more seconds in the phone booth because he makes a quick
He
call
makes a quick phone
to
call.
I don't remember what the guy's name is, but in the comics, it's the guy who like helps him get on his suit and stuff.
Right.
Like helps him with his suits and
It's
everything.
he meets him in the other movie.
Oh, does he?
Yeah, he's the guy who helps him makes it.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, I don't remember who he is though.
Oh, I don't remember that
I
part.
don't
guess.
remember that
You
either.
don't remember that?
No.
I feel like I do.
Oh, well, I don't think that happened.
I'm probably wrong.
Yeah. Anyway, so he makes a quick call to that guy. He's like, "No, oh well, okay, just tell him Wade called." And then he hangs up, and then he gets out of the phone booth, and then you hear, "Hey, nice suit!" And then it pans over and it's Stan Lee, and then Deadpool goes, "Zip it, Stan Lee!" and then sprints off, and
Good.
then the rest of it.
And then the
keeps
guy's
going.
dead. Talks
Yeah.
about eating Chair Garcia. And
Yeah.
then the
What's with that part that the script that scrolls up like Star
Yeah,
Wars
that.
that is like lightning speed and makes
The-
no sense?
It is. So basically,
Did you read it?
I didn't read it. No,
I
I
read the
read
whole
some of
thing.
it. It's Deadpool retelling The Old Man in the Sea.
It's an old.
It's like
an
if
old
Deadpool
story.
were to write like a high school report on, like he had to retell The Old Man in the Sea, and that's exactly what it is.
But what does
Yeah.
that have anything to do with any?
Exactly. It's
Well,
just
it
Is that the
most
point?
likely has nothing to do with anything, but you had an idea of what it could possibly have to do with, didn't you? Didn't you write it down?
I don't think so.
Oh, I thought you did.
Where?
I thought that Catherine read it. She probably didn't.
I probably made it up.
Oh, I did write down The Old Man in the Sea, but I came up with an interesting thing afterwards.
Ah.
So
Go ahead.
in Deadpool 2,
Right.
it's been confirmed that Cable is going to be in it.
Right.
No one really knows who Cable's going to be. Some people are saying that the guy from Stranger Things who played the police officer, Officer Hopper,
Oh, that could be
Okay.
interesting.
is going to be Cable, which would be pretty cool. But
Yeah.
the thing about Cable is that he's like a time traveler. So that leads me to believe that they might just go on some weird time travel adventure
Right.
together,
Which would be awesome.
which
Hugh
would be
Jackman.
awesome.
Hugh Jackman in a movie.
You okay, Frank?
Yeah, I
You
was
got a
just
little cough?
Yeah,
coughing.
dude, you all right, dude?
Yeah.
Dude?
That was
Let's just
crazy.
say,
You know, I had this
yeah.
totally original idea.
Yeah.
That they could go back in time and Hugh Jackman would be there.
Dude, that's a great idea.
And he would be in his
Oh my
Wolverine costume. I know.
God,
It just it came
Luke,
to
you're
me.
so
Frank,
creative.
no! My notebook.
I hope they heard that.
Dude, they heard every second of it. I
Every
could see
minute.
a huge spike.
Yep.
Good.
But yeah, Deadpool
That'd be pretty good.
going through time and like going back to the 80s.
That'd be pretty
And
good.
just like I can imagine he'd
That'd be
go
so
off to
funny.
some club and like he'd do like the Ninja Turtle dance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Oh, man.
Go Ninja, go.
God.
Which is the 90s actually, not the 80s. I'm a fool.
That's all right.
90s kids, I'm sorry. I don't.
Only
deserve...
90s kids will know you're wrong.
That's true.
Hey, you're wrong.
Frank? No, so the other thing that I was thinking that I thought you meant in what you said is that in Deadpool 2, they will do with Cable will be the old man, and he will be the young guy he will be Santiago in The Old Man in the Sea.
Oh,
that makes sense.
No, I thought that's what you meant by it.
Gotcha.
Is that
okay.
In Deadpool 2, they're going to do a reenactment of The Old Man in the Sea, or at least like a, obviously very vague, it will be a completely different type of story, but like Caleb will be Caleb,
Ooh.
or Cable, which is an anagram.
Yeah.
And Caleb.
Yep.
Shout out.
Man C, what's good?
Hey. But Cable will be like down on his luck, and he won't be able to do anything, and he'll be like having a really hard time, and then Deadpool will show up and he'll help him, and he'll help this old guy do whatever, and he's gonna actually be like, it's gonna be the Old Man in the Sea, which will be that story,
and it'll eventually lead Cable to his death.
Right.
After fighting a hard fight for like days,
after fighting a swordfish,
he'll just die.
That's right.
I hated that book. That was awful.
My dad made me read it in an afternoon.
Oh wow.
Yeah. He said, "Don't come out of this room until you're done." I was like, "Okay."
Should have just looked up a Spartan note.
I didn't. It was in Sheldon. I had no.
That's right.
Yeah.
There's nothing there.
There's nothing there
except for what was the bird you guys had? And a pineapple
on the peg.
Pineapple on a stick. We also had some chickens, ducks, geese, pheasant. Those died off in 2 days. But yeah, Cable should be interesting. Seeing where they go with that. Seeing if they do time travel at all.
That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah.
Catherine, what do you think?
Yep.
Good.
I never read that fish book, but it sounds good.
Oh, really?
Well, it's not.
Classic high school
it's
reading.
like one of those books you read in high school because you have to.
It's like Great Gatsby,
one of
Catcher in
those.
the Rye.
Yes.
It's a classic.
Which I
An
never
American
read.
classic.
I never read Catcher in the Rye.
I didn't either.
I did.
Me too.
Know what you mean?
For everybody not here, they're doing finger quotes.
Yes.
Bunny ears.
I did.
Sorry, Miss Thurber.
Yeah.
All right.
So let's get to the main event, the piece de resistance.
Okay.
Logan, I'll do it. Frank's not doing anything.
I was gonna ask Frank if he wanted to tell us.
Yeah, you're right.
A non-spoiler synopsis of what happened.
A non-spoiler?
Can you do it, my friend?
All right.
Because we're gonna. So this is what we're gonna do.
Okay, here we go.
Wouldn't that just be the commercial?
No, hold on. So we're not
Narrate
going to
the
talk
commercial.
about spoilers at first, and then I'll put a time code thing, and then
we'll talk about spoilers.
we'll talk about spoilers, and then we'll talk about.
What's
know
a
how it
time
works.
code?
I just put in the description the time that we started talking about spoilers, and then the time that we stopped.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like an actual time, like 1 hour and blah blah blah. So that's it.
If you want to like skip over my synopsis, go for it. I
Well,
would.
all right, I'll put
bad.
in.
I'll make it real short.
Frank's shit synopsis, time code, whenever it finished, and then the actual good part again.
All right.
Sorry, man.
Logan, who was old,
yes,
is taking care of Professor X.
There you go.
Struggle.
Right.
Who's also old.
Yes.
But very old.
Correct. Yes.
I would say older.
Older, yes.
I would say yes.
I feel like my synopsis would be
I agree.
very creative.
Yes, Frank. You know what? Although I have asked you a couple of times now to do it.
I don't know anyone's name.
Catherine, go ahead.
Okay.
Good.
So just describe them the best you can.
No spoilers.
All right. So
you got
Wolverine
Logan.
lives in an old water tower, and with the old wheelchair guy, and he's crazy. He also has the guy from
You gotta be careful.
the Addams Family,
Okay. Nosferatu. He has Nosferatu.
who has to bundle up from the sun.
Festus. That's his name.
The old guy is
Okay.
crazy, and they feed him medicine.
Okay, but don't.
He thinks.
Just don't go too
Okay,
far.
give me a signal if I'm saying too much.
I'm trying.
The old crazy guy says he thinks there's another little mutant, and Wolverine doesn't believe him. And then it's the truth, because that's in the commercial, so I can say that.
Yeah, you're fine. That's in the trailers. You're okay.
And it's a little girl, and
Which everybody knows is X-23, which is a girl Wolverine in the comics, who's like a clone of Wolverine.
Yes.
Wolverine.
Girl Wolverine, yes. Which it's okay. Everybody.
So she's small
part
and
is-
Spanish. and
Yep.
Wolverine meets her and he's like, "Go away," and she comes back to his house, and all these people show up, and then they live.
No, you don't have to do that. Just don't go to like
Let me
specifics
finish
of that
it.
part.
All
So,
right.
Frank, go ahead.
I got a good
Take
ending.
it away.
So after what she just said right there, they go across the country, and a lot of other things happen, and then the movie ends.
There you go. Not bad, Frank.
There's either a happy or sad ending.
And
It's
I'm
very
gonna,
happy.
I'm going to tell you right now, couldn't be sadder.
Could not be
This
sadder.
movie is a movie of disappointment.
In tears.
It's
No,
just
it's not disappointing.
Professor X even
Well-
says, "You are such a disappointment."
Yep. And he meant it.
you all right?
Yeah, I just got sad about that.
The whole movie is a movie about being disappointed about the way that everything's happening.
And basically saying, "I have to deal with this one way or another.
Exactly.
Fine, I'll do it."
Exactly. And
But then at the end, thinking, "I'm glad I did that."
yeah.
Only
I'm glad I
kind of,
ate
though.
Yeah. It's kind of like when you don't want to do an assignment, and then your parents force you to do that assignment, and then once you have the A's that assignment gave you, you can go to the homecoming game.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it's like.
Yeah.
That's-
I'm feeling something real specific coming from that. Anyway, so this is the third part of the Wolverine trilogy,
Yep.
being X-Men Origins, The Wolverine,
Okay.
and Logan.
Better.
There you go. Frank's synopsis of all three. Bad, okay, just better.
Better.
Just better?
Okay, way better.
There you go.
That's better.
The best.
This
There we go.
movie was phenomenal.
Yeah.
My favorite
Everybody
guy
across
was the
the-
Addams Family guy.
Nosferatu. God.
His name is Festus in
He's
the Addams
so
Family.
nice.
Nosferatu.
What's his
It's
name
not.
not in the Addams Family?
He had a cool
Caliban.
name.
Yeah, well, just so that we have.
Right, Caliban.
Yes.
So that we all know.
Caliban.
Nosferatu's from SpongeBob
I know.
and from Legends.
Yes.
Not just from SpongeBob.
But from probably the early 20s, around like the
Probably.
Dracula time.
You know.
Yeah.
That's
The
nice
world
saying that.
sucks. This world sucks for reasons that we're not going to talk about yet. Catherine kind of said it already. Professor X is crazy,
He's a crazy old man.
crazy old man. He's just
On,
crazy.
on the verge of
old.
being
On
senile.
drugs. Lots
Yes.
and lots of drugs.
Yep.
Lots of drugs.
Loves a good home cooked meal though.
Yes, he
And
does.
his
Big fan.
plants. He
The
loves his
little-
plants.
Does love his plants.
So then
He's growing weed.
X-23, the little girl, crosses paths with them, and that's pretty much it.
Yep.
That's pretty much how the movie starts.
Yep.
Goes. She was a baller.
Yes.
She
She was.
She was awesome.
Can we talk about this? Can I talk without being? Are we at the no? Okay, I'm gonna start over. Are
Okay.
we at this? We can talk about spoilers.
Spoilers
now?
yet? No. No, just
Almost.
talk a little bit. Talk a little bit about the girl.
She's small. She doesn't say anything, and then she says a lot of
Yeah.
stuff.
Like half the
She gets
movie,
real
she
mad.
just doesn't talk.
She
Yeah.
screams,
She screams.
and that's all I can say.
Right?
Oh no, because in the
She screams in the trailer. It's okay. You're
that's
good.
not what I'm-
I'll let you know if you say something you're not supposed to say, and I'll take it out.
She is insano and tiny and awesome, and she
Yeah.
slices a lot of people up.
Yes.
That's true.
Still in the trailers, you're good.
Okay, cool.
Pretty accurate.
No, it's like,
There's a lot of slice and
Dude.
dicing.
dude, it earned its R rating.
It sure
Yeah.
It
did.
is another hard R.
I'd say it's about the top
Yeah.
of Frank's foot.
She doesn't
Yeah.
have
if
very
Spawn's
good.
the bottom,
Yeah.
it's the top.
Yeah,
She has poor emotional regulation.
she does. She
Yeah.
really
That's
needs to
okay.
see a therapist.
Could you blame her?
No, not at all.
No, it's so good.
Yeah.
Like I don't know what or how much to say without spoiling it.
Spoilering it.
Spoilering it. You know, Frank?
Is it the best X-Men movie though?
Yes,
Yes.
easily.
Really?
I'd
'Cause
say so.
I've read a couple synopsises from important people, kind of.
Right.
And they said some better ones would be First
Class.
Class, not
First
Last
class.
Class.
I agree.
What am I thinking?
First class is very good.
And then
Like that one a lot.
somebody said Days of Future Past.
No,
I know.
I would
didn't
say
agree with
first
that one.
class above
Days of Future Past.
Days of Future Past.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that Logan above both of those.
Yes,
Yeah.
easily. Also, I forgot that I wrote a joke down for
Go ahead.
Black Bolt.
Yes, of course.
Let me start that over. Black Bolt, more like Whack Bolt.
Wow.
And then I wrote in parentheses,
Ooh.
laugh track.
Left track.
And let's get back to it. Logan.
You were so proud of that one, you wanted to include it, even if it didn't even matter anymore.
Yes.
Sorry, man. I hear you. All right, Frank.
Yes.
Do you have any other thoughts about the Logan movie? What were your initial thoughts? I agree.
It just looked pretty.
I agree.
Everything was amazing.
Yes.
Visually.
Everything about it.
The cinematography was great.
Yes.
Yeah.
Give me a camera.
Mm-hmm.
Let me shoot some stuff.
Frank's got to get in it.
Use claws.
Or use claws.
So, obviously, something else we didn't really talk about. Wolverine is not just old, he's also sick.
He is sick.
And it's getting harder for him to use his abilities.
Is this spoilers time?
No.
Oh.
I'm just saying, I mean,
Okay.
he's sick in the trailers.
Yeah, like as you
he
saw
just
in the
looks
trailers.
old and weathered.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Like as you see in the trailer, he has a tough time pulling his claw out.
Yeah.
Which I gotta say
That was
is the
so
grossest
gross.
part of the movie.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like it's
So
really unpleasant.
Not
to
his
watch.
like cut up abdomen.
Frank,
Man.
are you joking?
That's
What?
fine.
That's
Obviously.
he got the shit kicked out of him.
Frank, spoilers.
That's not a spoiler.
Yeah, you just
What do you
It's-
expect him not
People
to
can
like,
anticipate that
Yeah.
Wolverine is going to be fighting people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like at one point he gets cut up. Sorry.
But Frank, we've seen things like that. We've seen The Revenant. We've seen
Exactly.
like
Gross.
slice and diced people.
Yes.
But
Kill
like
Bill.
this was just
Kill
Bill.
Bill.
This was just
Great
like it was
example.
just gross. Like the idea of just having to pull something out,
Pulling
just
your
having to, like,
bones
It's
out.
basically your bone.
yeah,
Blech.
Nasty.
yucky.
Nasty.
Icky, yuck,
And
yuck,
he's
gross.
like,
Exactly.
the
Yeah,
whole time.
He's just real sad about it.
Yeah, he's real sad about everything the whole time.
Yeah.
He's drunk the whole time.
That's
He's
that's
pretty
true.
drunk most of the time.
Which you
Yeah.
can tell
he's
then
by
he
his
either
stops.
powers.
he's either drunk or super high.
You can tell his powers are wearing off because he can actually get drunk. Because in X
Yes.
number
Right.
one,
That's
he
what I was
couldn't get
thinking.
drunk. He was just
Exactly.
there drinking a
Yeah.
bunch.
Yeah, which is pretty cool. That's a nice
Yeah.
little touch. He's like,
Yeah,
I
it
can
is.
finally do this.
Yeah.
All right, let's numb the pain.
Yeah.
Sad.
Rip.
Sadness. All right. I mean, I don't know. I don't want to say too much.
Yeah.
Catherine, do you have anything else that's not a spoiler that you want to say?
The guy from the Addams Family irons the clothes.
Yes, he does. That, to a very lame person, is a spoiler, and I can't believe you would say that.
How dare you?
So I think it's time to get into spoilers, the
Spoiler
fun parts.
stuff. Spoilers.
Really talk about the
Let's-
best parts, easily
Yes.
the best parts.
Yes. Hold on.
We should probably put a disclaimer.
Yes. Disclaim.
It's
It's a-
spoilers.
time.
it's a
Full
spoiler
spoilers
here.
from here on out.
Here on until I
Zach,
say it's
again?
not anymore.
We'll put in like the sixth time code of this video.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm gonna put. I don't know how many.
Yeah.
I'll put
Either-
them.
Yeah.
Anyway,
but full
hit it.
spoilers for Logan. Here we go. So great. Everyone getting stabbed was
So
awesome.
much death.
So much death. So many decapitated heads.
Sliced
Oh my
through
God.
the face.
Sliced through the
Do
face.
you
which is-
remember when that little girl went and
explosions.
sliced up like where under his head, and then it came out?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
good stuff.
That was great.
So you're gonna say something. Hit me.
Okay, I was going to kind of do it a little bit, and like I have stuff in here.
I
so,
have stuff too.
So the
Me
first
too.
one that I want to talk about is when they're at his home farm thing.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Down in Mexico,
Mhm.
and she shows up, and then all those guys show up.
The Reavers.
Yes,
Mm.
When
They
she's
all
show
eating
up.
her cereal.
and she's
That
just sitting
part
there
is
eating her
so
cereal,
awesome.
and then you hear so they all go into the house to get her.
Yeah.
Then you hear her, or you just hear like gunshots, and then
Yeah.
kills, and then silence.
People screaming.
And then she walks out, and she's just holding something, and you can't tell what it is. And she's walking out, and then she throws it, and it's John Cena's head.
The guy looked just like John Cena. He did. When he pointed out, I was like, oh my god, that is John Cena.
he looked
Wow.
just like him. But regardless, it was one of
Yeah.
the guys who went in, and you're just like, oh my god.
Yeah.
And this is the first time I've ever seen her really do anything, too.
Right.
In the
So
movie.
I'd like to just, before
Killer.
we keep going, the Reavers are the group of people that are coming after X-23,
Yes.
and in doing so, also coming after Logan.
Yes.
And in the comics, the Reavers are a group of mutants who are
Ah.
also mutant hunters.
Gotcha.
So, but in the movie, they're just like people with some robotic arms.
Yeah.
But like in the comics, they're just like, they range from just a guy with some powers to like a big giant blob guy to just they're just crazy looking mutants all
I
over the
gotcha.
place. But in the movie, they're just some guy with some
Right.
guys with some robot limbs and stuff,
Basically, that's
which
it.
is fine.
Yeah.
You need generic bad guys. you
Whatever.
just- yeah,
It's totally
who cares?
fine.
Some robot parts.
Boy, they get
Yeah.
fucked right up.
They they don't stand a chance at
The,
any point in the movie.
No. So after that, Logan ends up going and helping her because he sees that she has claws.
He still doesn't want to,
No,
but
Well-
he's getting paid to.
well,
He doesn't really have a like choice at that time, really.
Well, yeah. In order for him to get out with Professor
right.
X, he needs to help her because it's just not working out.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, was there anything else you want to talk about that? I don't know. Do you have something else about that point? This is basically the first time you see the two of them go crazy. She fucking murders everyone.
Everybody.
She just like goes around just killing everybody.
Anyone she can. And even Logan's like, oh, you're really getting to the spirit of, aren't you? Oh, okay. Calm down.
And they start shooting at her and whatever.
Oh, right.
The guy who kind of looks like Malfoy.
Donald Pierce.
Yes. He goes, she heals and like smacks the gun out of his hand.
You guys are dumb. She heals. Cut it out.
Just go get her.
Yeah.
That's great. And then she goes and she literally murders everyone, and then the one comes out of her foot and she stabs the guy, and you're like, God damn.
Were those just her shoes, or does she have blades in her feet too?
She has blades in her feet.
Where, like, in between which toes?
I was thinking about that. Because
it's a full-on triangle.
Like, for me, it'd be fine, because I got that big space in between my toes. Like, I have plenty of room for a spike to come out.
Right.
Is it there, or is it, like, between the second and third toe?
That's
weird.
Well,
maybe it's under her toes.
The top.
Right, but I was also thinking it'd probably be strongest right here, because, like, in between the big toe and the one next to it, because the other ones are pretty small, pretty weak. They probably, they wouldn't break through adamantium, but still, for comfort reasons, I guess, it'd probably be best out of those two.
Right, and I like how
I think that's the strongest part of the foot.
Yes. Thank you. I think it might be the heel, but that's
what do I know? That'd be unpleasant. She'd have one hell of a high heel, straight down.
God.
But I like how Professor X explains why she's like that.
Yes.
Did you catch that part, Frank?
The lion part.
Yeah, because the lioness has has sharp claws on their feet
for defense.
Yes.
Which I wish she used her foot one more.
Me too. I wish she'd
used it more. Yeah, she was in that one scene, and then
she used it at the end, and golly, she used it.
She sure did. I want to talk about one thing. I was talking to Caleb. He's like, there are some plot holes, so I was looking out for him. And there is, in fact, one where the movie opens with Logan getting out of his limo, and there's those guys trying to take his hubcaps or whatever.
Right.
And then he's like, well, I guess it's time for you guys to die.
Yeah.
After he gets shot.
Oh, man. He
goes twice.
He goes crazy.
Yeah. And just like cuts their arms off, cuts off one guy's leg, just stabs him through the head a whole bunch.
Yeah.
So that established that this is a Logan that really doesn't have an issue with killing people.
Right.
And then no, but whatever. We'll carry on.
All right.
But when like the Reavers and Donald Pierce show up, why didn't he just stab Pierce right in the face right then and there? Just done.
Well, I wonder if it's because he knew that he wouldn't have survived all the bullets.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Because he very much so knew that he was not doing well, and he didn't want to.
Right.
He literally was like, just fucking leave me alone.
Yeah.
I want nothing to do with this.
I wash my hands of this.
I don't want this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, Frank? Oh.
I have a little something to interject here.
Go ahead.
You remember on the radio a couple times they mentioned a thing, like a place?
Yes.
Where a bunch of people died?
Yes.
Well, that was supposed to be like an alternate opening for the movie.
Oh.
And I would like to tell you guys a little bit about it.
Yes, Frank.
It's I found it on Twitter, and it's from Super Bro Movies. It says, alternate opening for Logan would have had you all crying in your seats. And I will tell you a little bit about it. It is quite interesting.
Yes.
Basically, what it would have been is the idea was to have most of the X-Men be killed by Charles in the beginning.
Yes. Which is what?
Who's Charles?
Professor X.
Professor X.
Wheelchair guy?
Yes.
I had an opening where Logan comes into the mansion and for the gifted youngsters, and they find them all. Oh, and he finds a tragedy has occurred.
All Anakin Skywalker.
Yep. He would have had found certain X-Men and Charles in the center of all of them, everybody else being dead, Charles being alive.
Right.
Which I think it would have been a really good way of starting it, a little context, and it could have been like a dream sequence, him waking up.
How did... Okay, can I ask a question, because I've never seen an X-Men movie until now?
Go for it.
How did the last one end? Like, how... So there was a bunch of X-Men, and then now there's no X-Men anymore, except for Wolverine?
What's supposed to have happened is what Frank was just talking about.
What I got from the movie was that the wheelchair guy accidentally murdered all of them with one of his crazy seizure brain things.
Yes.
That's pretty much it. So,
but why did Wolverine live then?
because he has the healing powers, and apparently Frank
that
was
makes
just
sense.
saying that he wasn't there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So-
Where were they and why did
They would
he...
have been at the X-Men mansion
Yeah.
in Westchester, New York.
But why? So, like, but then in the movie, they're in Vegas and he has a seizure, and even just regular people, they all were, like, throwing up and stuff, but they didn't die, so
Well,
why?
it could have been longer, and it wouldn't have affected...
Mm-hmm.
And, like, nobody would have done anything, because the person who stopped it was Logan, because he could move, because his powers kind of helped it so that he wasn't affected as much.
Mm.
So, which is why when they were down in Mexico,
Mm-hmm.
and he had one of the seizures, the only people who were affected were him and Caliban, and that was it. So he went over and he stabbed him, and he was able to move, but Caliban couldn't move at all. He just was completely paralyzed right there. Do you remember that part?
No, but that's okay.
Well, it was at near the beginning. But so I'm guessing what would have happened is it would have happened for so long that they would have died.
Yeah.
That's kind of the thought process, Frank.
Wow.
So I was thinking they never really explain why Logan is getting sick. So maybe
It's-
it could be because is there an actual?
Yeah,
So,
it's-
well, sort of.
Yeah, in the
comics.
a little bit, it's like the adamantium. When they first put it in him, it slowed down his healing factor
A lot.
because his body was always trying to compensate for the adamantium in him.
Oh, I got
Because
you.
Because it's like
beforehand-
metal poisoning. It's like
Yeah.
lead poisoning.
Okay.
Exactly, because beforehand, when he just had the bone claws, he'd heal like that. Like
Right.
yeah, loud
True.
snap, I know.
Wow.
Yeah.
I could hear it in you.
Because he
There
had
it
been
is.
alive for
Yeah.
like 300, 400 years or something.
Exactly, and he didn't have the adamantium
Yeah.
for most of those years
Okay,
until
yeah,
like
true.
I'd say
70s.
70s,
Right.
Like that. Yeah.
and
something
then they
like
put it
that.
in him, and then
60s,
yeah, that's why. And then after this, it
80s.
started to slowly like poison him, and then he just got sicker and sicker and sicker
Right.
until.
So in the comics, what happens is Magneto rips the adamantium out of him, just completely rips it out of his body.
Yep.
All right.
Real gross.
But then
Is that what his
comes.
claws are, or
Yeah.
that's something
Yeah.
else they put
Yeah,
in?
His
that's-
entire skeleton is coated in the stuff his claws
Yeah.
are made of.
So it's
Yeah.
silver bones everywhere.
But he wasn't born that way. Someone made
No.
him like that, like
Yeah.
Deadpool.
Right.
Yes,
Mhm.
almost
Okay.
exactly the same. It was the same program.
But he wasn't always that way. Is what you
No,
just
he
said?
he always had the claws, but they were originally just bones.
Oh, gross.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, so they ripped it out of him, but then they ended up putting it back in him. And when they put it back in him, his healing factor was stronger than it had ever been.
Oh.
So he was able to heal from literally anything at all. Like it could be like just like a cell.
Yeah.
He would
Oh.
come back from that, which was
So
that's
this
dumb.
doesn't
a load of
happen in this
shit.
universe then.
That's no
Because the biggest spoiler, if anybody wants to say it,
no,
no,
not yet.
Not
we'll
yet,
get there.
fine.
So
I don't even know what you're talking about, and I saw the movie. I'm like, ooh, what's the biggest
So the other
spoiler?
part with that is I wanted to talk about the parallels between that with Professor X killing all of the X-Men and Old Man Logan.
Yes, that's
Go ahead.
exactly what I wanted you to say. I was like, let's talk about the comic.
Okay, go ahead.
So it doesn't follow the comic perfectly.
Or really at all.
Really, not a whole lot.
No.
The things that are similar are he has to go on a road trip
Yes.
with
A
a
truck.
senile old man, and at one point he's in kind of a jeep.
Right?
And so in the comic, he's approached by Hawkeye, who's
Mhm.
now gone blind, but he needs to, I haven't read it in a while, but he needs to take some case across country.
Yeah.
And the U.S. has been taken over and divided into like four different sections. Each one is run by like a different supervillain or the Hulk.
Yeah, the Hulk
Yeah.
is running wild.
And in this, the Hulk is this hillbilly ass, like incestuous, gross dude.
Yeah.
And
Who
his
is, like-
incestuous spawn with his cousin like rule over his place.
Right.
And they're just gross people.
Yeah.
So anyway,
And the reason he's doing it is he's going to get paid, just
Right.
like in
he's gonna get paid.
Logan.
Yes.
And he has to do it because if he doesn't, he's going to lose his farm,
Right.
which to the Hulks, they're going to take it from him.
Yeah. So
Do you know the story?
I've read the whole thing.
yeah,
Have you?
he's right.
Catherine?
Hmm?
I'm telling you.
Oh,
Listen.
Yep, the Hulk is gross and is a hillbilly.
Yep. Perfect. You
And
got it.
married to his cousin or
That's all
something.
you need. So one other parallel that I really wanted to happen, I like when I was first watching it, my fingers were crossed, I was all hyped up,
Mhm.
is towards the end when he's fighting X-24.
Mm-hmm.
So, little backstory, in the movie, X-24 comes out and it's a clone, it's a perfect clone of Wolverine
Right.
who runs on pure rage and he's like an unfinished clone, so he's not perfect, and they can't really contain him all that much. So there's one scene where they're fighting at the end, and Wolverine takes the door of a truck off and like smashes it down on his neck.
Right.
And in the comic, there's a scene where Wolverine is fighting the Red Skull.
And the Red Skull is wearing Captain America's outfit because he killed him.
Yeah.
And he's wearing the whole Captain America outfit, and he's using the shield and everything.
And then Wolverine ends up taking the shield from him and decapitating him. And this big spurt of blood just like comes out of him.
It's fucking crazy.
It is so awesome.
Crazy.
And when that happened in the movie, I was like, oh, cut his head off. Come on, cut his head off, cut his head off, cut his head off. I want this so bad.
Yeah.
Oh, man. But we didn't get that.
Which is okay.
That's fine, honestly. I understand why they did what they did. But I thought that was a pretty good little nod to the comic a little bit. I thought that was pretty cool. And I wish they had gone the pacifist route.
Yes.
Because in Old Man Logan, the comic book, he spends, I'd say, like 3/4 of the book.
Pretty much all of it.
I'd say 4/5 of the book.
Yeah.
Not using his claws, trying not to fight as much as possible.
And you don't know why.
I thought in the because I remember in the commercial he was like yelling at the little girl, like when she's in the convenience store, and he's like, "No, we don't do that." So I thought he was gonna be more like trying to tell her to not use her claws.
Right.
I thought that was going to be a big premise of the movie, but then, like, literally in the first scene, he murders all those people.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
I was like, okay, well, never mind.
Yeah, towards the end of the comic, he ends up, like, finding the Hulk's family.
Right. Well, you find out why he doesn't want to kill anybody.
Right. So, in the comic, it's revealed to him that he was one day fighting a bunch of, like, villains. Yeah. And he was killing them all. He was doing a great job of killing all these villains.
Because they were in S.H.I.E.L.D., I'm guessing?
Something like that.
And so he went into S.H.I.E.L.D. and he was like, what are you all doing here? This doesn't make any sense.
Right.
And so he went and he started to kill them all, and he started to just like go ballistic, and they're all like, why are you killing us? Why are you doing this? What are you doing? And then he kills whoever it is at the end.
I think it was either Kitty Pryde or Rogue.
Okay.
But it's revealed that Mysterio had him in some
hypnotic trance
where he thought all of the X-Men were all these supervillains.
It was not even just the X-Men, it was all the Avengers.
Right.
It was everybody.
Right.
And he thought that they were all
Isn't that
bad
how
guys.
Wait, didn't you tell me that's how like how they all get dead in the comics?
Probably. I probably told you.
Isn't that how like all the Avengers die in the comics?
Essentially, yeah. Wolverine
in this story.
If somebody mind controls someone, he just murders everyone.
Yes. Yeah, this is it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
look at
and
guys.
So
you did it.
It gets to the point where Wolverine doesn't want to use his claws or anything at all anymore,
right?
Because he's like,
"Oh, is that?
Oh my god, I killed all of my friends.
Everyone's
dead."
Yeah. That's right.
He tried to kill himself several times.
He tried to kill himself once by putting his head on the railroad tracks.
Yeah.
And then trying to get run over, but it didn't fucking do anything because he's Wolverine.
Wow.
Was that supposed to happen before this movie or after this movie?
It was this. Well, the comic,
like in the in the movie, the old wheelchair guy accidentally murdered all the X-Men.
Yeah.
In the comics, was it Wolverine, who murdered all the guys?
Yeah.
So that's
so they just changed it.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's supposed. I'm guessing it's supposed to be pretty much the exact same thing.
It's like in the Wrath of Khan, how in the original one it was Spock that died, in the new one it was Kirk.
Yeah.
Exactly, so the Avengers and the X-Men are not in the same universe, or they are?
No.
Well, they are in the comics.
Right, they were supposed to be, but they're
right.
Okay.
But since they're not owned by the same company, and everything.
Which is why they didn't murder them.
Exactly.
That makes sense.
So in this movie, because they can't use all the Avengers, they can't use everybody. They just said the X-Men died.
Yeah.
And it was a very quick, short, to the point where I didn't even realize, you didn't even know this radio thing happened. So, in Oklahoma City, Professor X has another big seizure thing. It wasn't Vegas, actually, it was Oklahoma City.
Oh, sorry.
It just looked like Vegas. And they were in a casino, and he was in the top in a casino, and he had a seizure, and Logan realized as soon as he got back. No, it was before he even got back, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
It was like on his way there, wasn't it?
Well, yeah, he noticed when he was driving back.
Yeah.
He's like, what the fuck is happening? This is not good at all.
Yeah, so, and then, because he found his medicine and he hadn't been taking it. So he got back, and then
2 days. I don't know.
Logan! And then he went all the way upstairs. Everybody is paralyzed. They're all just standing there, not able to do anything. This part was fucking awesome, too. And he went up, and he's like, using his claws to get forward because he can't go anywhere. And then he gets to the first guy standing at the door, and he just fucking spikes right through his goddamn head.
But before he does it, the guy looks over at him.
He's like
he
shit.
just moves his eyes over. He's like, oh no, and then spikes through his face.
Right. So what?
That was so gross.
Yeah. So what happens is when Professor X has these seizures, everybody is completely paralyzed, but because of Logan's. I don't know if we necessarily said this. So everybody can't move at all except for Logan because of his healing factor. So he's able to move really ever so slightly. Same thing with X-23. She can move really slightly too. But anyway, he gets back there. He just murders everybody. He literally spikes through everyone's head, and it's awesome. And then he takes the medicine and he spikes it, or he pushes it into Professor X. And everyone just collapses. Yeah. And you just see everyone die. Yeah. Like, holy shit.
It's kind of like the Quicksilver scene in Days of Future Past. But not nearly as much fun. Just a different kind of fun.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I don't know. I was just looking for...
Oh, actually, I was going to say this right after. So that whole seizure happened. It affected everybody in the casino as well.
Right.
And everybody in the Oklahoma City area. Mm-hmm. And they were leaving quickly. They, quickly put him in a wheelchair, and they rushed him down the stairs and got him in the truck and left. And as they were leaving, the truck is playing a news broadcast that says, "A epidemic happened in Oklahoma City, and it was very similar to the Westchester incident a year ago, and which killed 600 people and several And then Wolverine turns off the radio before he says the X-Men. Mm-hmm. So that's why all the X-Men are dead.
So the real life people know that the X-Men, so real life people recognize Wolverine as being
They would have if he looked anything like they portrayed him in the comics.
Right. This is quickly going to get way too confusing because it's the comics in the movie as opposed to the comics outside of it. It's going to get way too much. Right. I vote we move a little bit forward.
Go ahead.
So he finally gets X-23 to where she needs to be.
Well, you want to even go that far? I was going to talk about the farm first.
Oh, that's
okay. So the farm. We should talk about the farm just so we can talk about the character introduced and the character de-introduced.
Yes.
Yes.
So, perfect. Frank.
Oh, you want
which character is introduced?
Well,
X-24.
Professor X is just laying in bed and he's.
Well, not necessarily that part. So there.
I wanted to tell that.
Well, I was just gonna say first who's the family that they meet and everything. So they're on the highway, and then there's a truck. Did they swerve into the truck? Does the truck swerve into them?
No idea.
Something happens, but then there's this truck with all these horses, and all the horses get loose, and then Professor X basically forces them all to come back and controls them with his mind. And then they all come back and they stand there, and then the family is so grateful that they take them in to serve them food.
And a place to stay.
Frank, and so...
Take it away.
Go ahead, Frank. Okay, so who's this family? What do they do anything with the family?
They eat dinner with the family.
Great. And then what happens?
Then Logan goes out to fix the water thing because something's wrong with the water.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody else goes to bed.
Okay. Then go ahead. Now you can talk about the part you want to talk about.
Oh, well, okay. And Professor X laying in bed. He's telling a pretty lucid story, which I think. Remember when he's like, "Hey, take these pills." I think he didn't take them. I don't know.
I don't think he did either.
Yeah, it looked like he spit them out or something. So I think that's why, when he was talking about what happened, he remembered Westchester. He seems so lucid, and then he gets stabbed.
Yeah,
because just gets murdered.
You see Logan stand over him, and he's talking to Logan. He's like, "I remember what I did."
Yep.
So sad.
Whoa, no.
But it was a young Logan.
And then you see Wolverine.
And you're like,
he looks
different.
Guts.
You look different.
You look different. So you see Logan put his knuckles down on his chest, and then just and gets him right then. And it's revealed that it's a clone of Wolverine.
I was very confused at that moment. I was like, why would you kill this old man? He was your friend. And then I realized
that then turned into that X-24 killing the entire family.
Yeah.
Everyone in it.
Oh, yeah.
In a bloody fashion.
That was
Could
crazy.
not have been bloodier.
No, that was bonkers.
Yeah, and then
first X-23 jumps on top of him and tries to take him down, but he just completely demolishes her and throws her into the wall.
He's quite big.
He's like a big dude. Yeah. And so the way they did it is it's still Hugh Jackman, but just made to look younger.
Right.
And he still looks great.
Yeah.
Which is probably why when he got to the bottom of the stairs, they gave each other a nice look down. Like,
yeah.
Logan and X-24 both looked at each other like, damn, you look good. But that was quickly followed by them beating the living shit out of each other.
Yeah. Yeah. He just lets him go by when he's holding X-23, and he just lets him walk by, and he's like, oh my god, everyone's probably dead. So he runs up the stairs, and he's like, Charles, Charles, and he runs over and he grabs him, and he's like, Charles, it wasn't me, it wasn't me, and he's like, you fucking killed me, asshole. So this is part of like the theme of disappointment,
right?
That this whole movie was,
yeah,
is that most likely Professor X thought that Logan killed him,
right,
and just like assumed that he was sick and tired of taking care of him and just didn't want to anymore because he said that several times.
He realized at the very end, like right before he died, he said, "The Sunseeker," which is the boat that they wanted to buy.
Right.
So I think he realized that it wasn't really Logan; it was just another Logan.
Right.
Because they were wearing two different outfits. It's pretty clear.
I love the part when the dad who got sliced up by the fake Wolverine, when I don't remember if he used a car or just went shit on him and smushed him into the the machine, and it just goes. Yeah, well, he's about to.
Sport is a good way to describe the noise of X-24 getting impaled.
He's about to kill Logan.
That's the action word that would pop up.
I mean, he's about to kill Logan. Like, there's no way that he's not going to. Mm-hmm. And then, if that guy didn't hit him with the truck, that'd be it.
Well, I like how after that he shot him. He shot him with a shotgun, and then he turned around to Logan like, "It's your turn, buddy." Yeah. And then, ting, 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 no bullets left.
And then he just fucking dies. Which is there's one more de-introduction of a character. They have Caliban in the back of the truck because he's used to track down mutants, and Caliban goes out in a blaze of fiery glory. Dude. Because he's in the back of the truck and he manages to reach 2 hand grenades. He pulls out the pins and he goes, look into the light. And then he throws them down and the whole thing blows up. Yeah. And it was pretty great.
I'm happy they did that.
Me too. Like, rip Caliban, but good for him, you know? He did a good job. He did a good thing.
Yeah, he did.
So.
Fighting the good fight.
Fighting the good fight, that's right. So I think from here we should go to North Dakota.
That's fine. There's nothing really happens after that.
Nothing really happens.
He's basically just crazy hurt.
Yeah.
And he's like...
Professor X.
Buries Professor X, real sad.
Real sad.
Passes out on the road, real sad.
Really pissed off, destroys his truck because it wouldn't start.
Mm-hmm.
So, long story short, they make their way to North Dakota one way or another, where there is a little group of young mutants that were in the same program. Lost Boys, essentially. They were in the same group that X-23 was in. They were all experimented on. They were all created in this lab.
They were all X-23s.
They were all X-23s, and they were all made from the genetics of old mutants. Right. So some of them have, like, powers from Storm. Some have Iceman's powers. They all have different powers based on different X-Men.
There's telekinetic powers.
There's telekinetic powers. There was ground-moving powers. There was...
one of them was an earthbender.
There was the goat with his electricity powers. He was the fucking man. I don't know what his name is, but he's the best because he looks like Terrio, and he's awesome. God, he's so good. And he can run. He can move like no tomorrow.
He was so cute.
He was so cute. He was adorable. So they meet up with this group of young people who... I'll get into it later, actually. So they meet up with this group of young people. They end up trying to escape to Canada.
Right.
Because they'll be safe across the border.
Yep.
Why? I don't know.
I don't know.
Apparently there's, like, something over there. That's what they kept saying. Is like, somebody's going to meet them there.
Right.
They have, like, that's why they had to wait until that day, is somebody's going to meet them when they get there. Mm-hmm. So, I don't know.
So, they're running through the woods, and then,
Logan passes out. He wakes up, and this is after he basically... talks to X-23 like she's the seahorse in
SpongeBob.
Yeah,
go on, get out of here.
You stupid animal.
Yeah.
What's her name? The seahorse's name?
Destiny. No.
Mystery?
Or Debbie. Mystery. That's right. He's like Destiny or Debbie. And then he comes up with Mystery. Thanks, Frank.
Nice job.
You're always keeping me grounded.
But he is basically like, get out of here, you stupid animal. I don't want to be near you anymore. And I did everything I needed to do, and I don't want to help you. Yep. And then he wakes up, and everybody's gone. And he's like, shit. And then he sees drones fly overhead of him. And it's not just Amazon delivering, like you said. You tricked me.
Gotcha.
And then he was like, oh, no. And he turns and he views them with his giant binocular things that are hanging up there. And he's like,
gotta go kill those guys.
I gotta go help. And then he grabs all of this green juice and he sprints after him. And he is running and he's just this frail old man. And he's like, oh my God, you're so fast.
Honestly, he'd be like any of us would be. We'd be like, why are we running through the woods? This is awful.
And he sees all the trucks on the side of the road and it's very urgent and he needs to move. And
so he shoots himself up with this green juice.
Yeah, hard.
Yeah, and then he busts ass through the woods. He is hauling it like no tomorrow. He's Usain Bolt through those woods, and then he comes in contact with like more Reavers.
Oh my God!
Does not slow down.
No, he just
stabby
stab, and it's like, I mean, it is just devastating. He's just destroying. I know you wrote stabby stab.
I wrote stabby stab.
Catherine read it earlier.
I was waiting to use it. Yeah.
He's just like sprinting through. He's cutting off people's heads, literally just cutting off a head, one swoop. He's just destroying everyone. And then he finally gets there, and X-23 sees him, and
they all start fighting.
And then they both start fighting together, and it's like this beautiful father-daughter moment.
It's a nice moment. Like some father-daughters go to a dance. No, that's not what it's like in the Logan family. They kill people. The standout part in this scene for me was when that one girl was knocked down on the ground.
Okay.
And I'm sure this is a standout part for everybody. And she like controls all the pine needles and all the sticks and twigs.
That was
and
gross.
Just like drives them into that guy's face, and his flesh is just tearing off.
Yeah.
As like the swirling vortex of pine needles and dirt and sticks goes around him to the point where he literally explodes into nothingness. He's fucking obliterated.
Oh my God. That part was so fucking great.
Awesome.
That part was awesome.
Yeah. He was really good. She was really good.
And he wasn't very good.
No.
He was dead.
His little buddy there was stabbed immediately by X-23.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he tackled the girl, and then she's like, not today, and then just annihilated him.
Yeah, and so then basically all the kids get captured.
Yep.
Logan gets there. The green juice is wearing off, and he's like, I'm going to kill all y'all. And he goes to try to kill them.
Yeah.
And she goes around, X-23 goes around, is killing everybody basically who's like supporting there.
Yeah.
And fucking Donald Pierce, right? That's his name?
Oh, Price. Yeah. He gets destroyed by those kids.
Every single one of the kids except for X-23 grabs him and they're all using their powers on him at the exact same time.
Yeah.
And he's just...
powerless. There's nothing he can do.
And you can see he's just like being like broken into like a billion pieces and electrocuted and frozen and everything all at the exact same time. And then he just gets buried by that one girl who wraps plants around him. Mm-hmm. And god damn.
So I think Frank should tell the final act of this entire scene.
Yeah, man. You like this part?
Yes, I do. I do like this part.
Who
but before that, I like how like the leader guy, like the leader of all the kids, has Magneto's powers. I thought that was kind of cool. I don't know if
was it Magneto's powers? I think he was lifting the ground underneath the truck.
It almost looks like
I thought it was the metal in the truck. He was.
I don't
know. He's a character in the comics, so we'd have to look him up.
Right.
No. It looked like
I thought it was the same thing at first too because I was like, who are all these kids? Whatever. I'm pretty sure he was like an earthbender. He could just like lift the ground.
You think he could just like stomp on the ground?
Yeah, but I'm not 100%.
Oh, okay. So the big news is Logan dies by tree, being impaled by tree.
Yeah, well,
he's impaled on a root.
Yeah.
Just
what? Yeah, by who?
Oh, by X-24.
Yep.
Yeah. No, by X-23. She picks him up and stabs him.
It's the biggest twist of the century.
Yeah.
He gets kebabbed.
He does get kebabbed.
He goes hard splort against that tree.
He does.
And right then and there is a very nice, very sad moment.
Yeah.
Where he's fading.
Yeah.
And everyone can tell he's about to go.
Yeah.
Side note, X-23 kills X-24 with one adamantium bullet through the head, just blows his brains out.
Yep.
So, Logan is there, impaled on this root. She comes over and breaks the root from behind, so he's not hanging there. He drops down, and you can see he's dying. He looks terrible.
Yeah.
obviously.
He looks pretty beat up.
He looks rough.
I'd say.
And she
he
then
did get impaled by a tree.
Right, and then for the first time, she calls him Daddy.
Yep.
Which was like, you're like, ooh, I can feel the emotion.
Yeah.
Oh, man. And then...
That's where Caleb cried.
Caleb cried there, probably. And then Logan says, so this is what that feels like. Or, so this is what it feels like.
This is what it feels like.
And I'm guessing he means love and connection.
Yeah.
I'm guessing he means death.
Ooh.
He could.
Because he's talking about he's never...
He's
never felt death before.
You are so much more emo than I am.
Many meanings.
That's so...
That's real sad, man. What the hell?
All right, Hawthorne Heights, let me talk.
Sorry, man.
Expect that from you.
I'm assuming he means death because the entire movie was just about
him
disappointment.
wanting to die.
Yeah.
He said, I want to die.
Sad. It was about him. Okay, he was talking about the whole reason why he and the little girl were fighting is because he's like, everyone I care about dies. And she's like, well, I'll be fine then. And then she leaves, remember?
Right.
And then that was like one yank at my heartstrings. And then the second time was when he's like, so this is what it feels like. And she's crying because they finally are like family. And then everybody else is dead. And then he's like, this is what it felt like because the
This
whole
is what
time.
it feels like.
Because the whole time,
And then
the
he
guy in
dies
the
right
wheelchair
after.
is like, this is what it would be like if you had a normal life with a normal family, blah, blah, blah.
Okay.
It's not about a you're...
It could have
The
multiple meanings.
reason that I say this is what it feels like is that it means death is because he's tried to kill himself several times throughout the 400 years he's been alive.
And he planned to do so with the adamantium bullet on a boat in the middle of the ocean.
Yes.
Is that the plan?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh.
He was going to bring Professor X out there and then
Blow his brains out.
blow his brains out.
Okay, well, then Professor X would have just died out there.
Oh, you'd probably wait till he died first.
Yeah,
I guess.
Let's be real.
probably.
That's
He
like
basically spent the entire time.
Well, I
Either
thought-
that or he's going to go out there and make sure Professor X can't hurt anybody.
I thought
Yeah.
That's
I
it.
thought there was going to be like, after credit scene, it was going to be like him just getting on a boat.
Logan getting on a boat?
Yeah. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Now
Kind
that
of like a
we-
Dark
See,
Knight Rises type thing?
I would have.
Yeah.
That would have pissed
But-
me off.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Now that you explain it like this, like that's what I didn't know that's what he was going to do on the boat.
Yeah.
Now it would have been dumb.
Yes.
It's been real dumb. Or the other idea for an after credit scene I had would have been like him like pulling through the rocks, being like, not really dead.
Ah,
or
gotcha.
like
A fist, yeah.
Yeah.
something
Or
like
just
that.
the claws.
just the claws
Yeah,
pop
after
up.
everybody else
That'd
walked
be
away.
sick.
I would be. That would piss me off.
Yeah, I'd be like, God
because-
damn it.
Yeah.
We get it.
Yeah, like it. I mean, that was his last movie. He didn't want to do anymore.
Yeah.
That was it.
Yeah,
Done.
I know.
So
But I'd be absolutely amazed if he doesn't come back.
the very
Yeah.
ending, the movie ends with X-23 and the rest of the kids giving him like a final send-off. They bury him under a pile of rocks. They have a nice stick cross.
Yeah.
And
She
she
recites,
recites
yeah.
like some lines from a movie that her and Professor X watched early in the movie.
Right. I don't remember which movie it was.
I don't remember what it was,
But,
but
whatever
like
it was.
everyone,
Western.
it was an old Western. I don't remember what it's called. But either way, all the kids are visibly upset.
Yes.
The Terrio,
Yeah.
because I don't know his name, he has a Wolverine action figure.
Yeah.
That
Which
part
Steve-
is so...
Steve made a good point
What?
that everybody there has like a backpack and supplies and they're ready to go. They brought everything they need and all he has is a Wolverine action figure. And he's just the cutest little kid and that's all he needs. And he's the best. But aside from that,
Yeah.
so all the kids are leaving and she stops and she takes the cross and she puts it on its side so it's an X.
Right.
And the last shot is the X-shaped grave and then the kids walking into the woods going towards Canada.
Right.
Which I think is leading into the New Mutants movie.
Yes.
I mean, that's pretty clear.
Right.
They're going to be the New Mutants.
Right.
And I'm thinking
Unless they don't make another one, but that's not.
they've
gonna happen.
already confirmed they're doing New Mutants.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So yes,
So-
they will be making another one.
Yes. I'm wondering if they will interact at all with the X-Men.
Okay.
Like, will those two mesh? I mean, since this universe was like, it was confirmed that the Logan universe is different than the X-Men Apocalypse universe. It's stupid. They'll probably
Whatever.
change it
Yeah, I
so
mean,
that it'll work out.
they change it about everything
Yeah,
else.
I
I
mean,
think
I'm sure.
that's a good idea. They should definitely just keep those separate because I think
I
like
agree.
a New Mutant movie would be cool, like its own thing.
Yes.
And then they can keep with like the X-Men Apocalypse.
But-
It would be totally
But
separate.
Frank, they're gonna bring
They're
him
gonna.
in,
There's
yeah.
at least
They
going to be a
don't have
cameo.
to.
You're right. They don't
Like,
have to.
It might even end up being like the X-Men start a new school
Right.
and then they take in the New Mutants and kind of start over that way.
Right.
I thought all the X-Men were dead.
Yeah, let's not even get into it. It's a whole thing.
They are dead in that universe, but it's not the same universe, and if it's
What's Cable gonna bring all those kids to a different universe?
Yeah, right.
There's
It's
a
a
better
whole
life
load of
here.
bullshit.
Wait, I thought-
Don't even worry about
I
it.
thought you were just saying when the little kids cross to Canada, they'll be the new kids in this new movie, but the
The X-Men
but the X-Men will come back. But wouldn't that be the same
we're
universe? Because those
speculating
Speculating.
currently.
And the X-Men universe is a mess.
Yes, it is.
There is nothing about it that screams, this makes sense.
Right.
Yeah.
A Mr. Nick Mason once
Yes.
said that you only need to know the movie before it.
Yep.
Because as
that's
long
it.
as you know that one, then you'll know what happens the next.
Yep.
And that's it.
Yeah,
As long as you know First Class, you'll understand Days of Future Past. As long as you know Days of Future Past, you'll kind of understand Apocalypse. But not really.
Yeah.
It's all just a disaster.
Why don't you like Apocalypse?
I didn't like it at all.
Really?
Well,
There's a lot of dumb things.
not necessarily. It just was a huge disappointment.
Really?
Sticking with the theme of tonight.
No,
Wow.
I expected it to be amazing. I expected it to be because I actually really like Days of Future Past. It's still not my favorite one. My favorite one still was First Class.
Yeah.
The three of them, but the Apocalypse just felt like a huge disappointment to me.
Oh.
The best part was Nightcrawler.
Yeah,
obviously.
right.
I
'Cause
don't know.
he's
I thought
the
whole
best.
movie was pretty good. But I don't know. I had no expectations going into it, so that's probably
did.
why. That was going to be great.
I mean that is probably why.
Yeah.
Because I was like, oh, like this one looks really good, but then they showed every single good thing in the
Yeah.
I don't even
trailers.
remember the trailers, so that's probably part of the problem.
They were okay. It was just Apocalypse screaming, "Everything you built will fall!"
And I thought that
Okay.
Apocalypse was a wasted opportunity
Yes,
Yeah.
easily.
because he could have been
Also, a waste of makeup.
Well, yeah.
waste of body paint. He could have been like this huge, towering bad guy, and instead was a guy who was
was
shorter
like
than
5'9".
90% of the.
Yes.
He was like a solid 180 pounds.
Yeah, like he didn't look menacing. He
Yeah.
just looked like a dude. And in the comics, he's a big bad
Yeah,
motherfucker.
yeah, yeah.
He's a bad
Alright.
he's a bad mamma jamma.
It's true.
But
Batman pajama.
I didn't think it was necessarily a bad movie. I
Uh-huh.
just thought it was not as good as it should have been.
Right.
All right, yeah, I can see that.
Okay,
On that note, we've pretty much covered all we need to cover for Logan.
right?
We've
Catherine,
said our
are there
piece.
I have one.
final thoughts you have?
I wish everyone didn't die. It made me really sad, and then the movie ended. And that's always the worst way to end a movie because why make everyone cry and then turn the lights on?
So everyone can see each other
Right?
crying.
It's like everyone is gonna look around and be like, "You cried, and you cried, and you cried."
You're right.
These are the things I worry
solid
about when I
point,
watch
yeah.
a movie.
Yeah. Frank, any last feelings?
Any
last
last
thoughts?
words, Speece?
Are we going to go on to something else, or are we?
Nope.
I think that's it,
That's
man.
it.
We're
man.
gonna go.
I have one question
Wicked
for
Wings.
everyone. Oh, beautiful.
Go ahead, Frank.
One question for everyone.
Okay.
3 totally different franchises. Which movie's the best?
Okay.
The Dark Knight,
Oh, that's
The
right.
Winter Soldier, or Logan?
Mmm.
Winter
And we're
Soldier.
gonna Winter Soldier.
Winter Soldier for you?
Yeah. What do you think, Luke?
What are you gonna do, man?
Come back to me.
All right.
What are you
Zach?
gonna do, man?
Which one?
You gonna betray it? You're not.
Nah.
No.
Which one?
Mine's gonna have to be Winter Soldier.
It's Winter Soldier.
I
Easily.
like Logan a lot more than Winter Soldier, so I'm gonna go with Logan. And I'll give you the percentages.
And Frank is voted out of the friend group.
Yeah. Logan. Okay, I'll start. Where do you want me to start? The bottom or the top?
Bottom.
The bottom. Winter Soldier at 18%.
Damn.
The second is Logan at 34%.
I thought so.
The next is Dark Knight at 47%.
That's what I assumed. Is it like a Twitter poll or something?
Yeah, it's Twitter.
That's what I assumed.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But I mean, in all honesty,
It's a good question.
the problem with those for me is that I don't like DC movies as much.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
basically
No
what it boils
cap.
down to.
But
I thought The Dark Knight was very good. I've seen it like
A
3
billion
times ever. 3 times.
Really? That's it?
Yeah. Because I'm like, this is way too long. It's way too much. It's so
Yeah.
exhausting.
Yeah,
I just
it
need
is.
a nap.
I've seen it a lot, so.
mhm.
I don't know. It's. I mean, don't get me wrong. I think it's a very good movie. I
Mhm.
think that they redid everything with Batman, and it was
Way better than the new
super.
Batman.
Yeah.
And
Sorry,
bottom-
Affleck.
I disagree, actually. I said yeah, but I disagree. We'll get
Oh.
into it a separate time.
Yeah.
I
Alright.
think that for Batman part, sure. I think that Batman, the new Batman's better, but that Joker's better. How's
Joker's
that?
1,000 times better.
Yeah, yeah, I agree with you there.
All right, now we're even.
Perfect, Frank.
All right.
That's called a compromise.
Yes.
I do so all the time.
And on that note,
Do
I think that's it for tonight.
All right.
Frank, can you tell the good people where they can reach us?
Yeah, dude.
I?
You know, you're
Lots
a
of
member of
places.
this podcast
That's
now.
true. Yep.
Facebook probably.
Yeah.
Facebook
YouTube. At the Zach and Luke Radio Show.
Nice
There
job.
you go.
YouTube at
Zach and Luke Radio.
All right.
And
You guys
we
have
Zach
posted.
Luke Radio Show, Twitter. Zach
people.
Luke Radio.
All right.
At Zach Luke Radio. We have
And Instagram. I don't know if you guys have an Instagram.
right.
No.
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 we don't.
All right. Anything else?
Nah, we should have an Instagram,
I
but
don't
we
know.
wouldn't have anything to post.
Yeah.
No.
Just
Except
pictures of
for
ourselves.
Little clips.
those little clips that I posted on my own.
Yeah.
So if you've made it this far,
I owe you $1 million. I will write you a check. $1 million. Yours from me.
Not for me. Good luck,
So,
Luke.
Yep.
So I'm gonna try to post this one. Actually, I'm gonna try to post this one tomorrow.
All right.
I know it's gonna be quite the
It was nice
feat,
knowing
but I'm feeling good about it.
Cool.
So we'll see what happens.
Yep.
So I'll try to post this one tomorrow.
Mhm.
I'm also gonna try to make a video,
Clip
a
from the last
shorter
one.
video,
Gotcha.
a clip. Luke, would you like to explain what those are?
The clips are they're clips from our long show. So on Facebook, we'll post little tiny clips, what we think is the best part of the podcast, and Zach will then edit in photos and little animations and little fun things to make them entertaining to not only listen to, but to watch.
Yes.
It's like a preview.
It's like a little,
It's
it's like a little,
It's
preview.
a preview.
yeah. But
Like a
those are
music
posted
video.
on Facebook. We usually share them on our personal Facebooks.
Yep.
We get people to share them. If you like them, share them. Get the word out. Get the people. Have you heard the good news?
Make us famous.
Make us famous.
yes.
Yeah, why not?
Yep.
All right. Catherine, why don't you sign us off?
Say goodnight, Babs.
Good night, Babs.
Great.
Perfect.
I don't know.
I was gonna sing the song from The Bear in the Big Blue House when the moon, and they sing. Or whatever they do or something. Okay, never mind. Goodbye. Good night,
Babs.
Babs.